Thank you for tuning in to Watch Sixto. My name's Sixto. Today is a review on a vintage 1970 Q&Q MEC. This is not my watch. This is a loaner watch for review. I mentioned his company name so many times on this channel. He's an awesome guy. He did a couple of repairs on my watches, or actually one watch, and he helped fix one issue with one, so technically two. So the Timekeeper was so gracious enough to lend me not one but 5 more watches to review, all vintage watches. So this one right here is a Q&Q. It's a company owned Japan CBM. It was in 1976 by late 70s to the 80s. They partnered with Citizen. They use Citizen to distribute these watches and produce the Citizen movements for them. And since this isn't my watch, I didn't take the case back off. These scratches are already on there. I didn't put any of those on there. Like I said, not my watch. I'm not gonna risk doing anything to the watch. But this is actually pretty cool for a vintage. When I looked this one up, they said it's a manual wind, but that's a no-no because you can see the second hands slowly moving. You just shake it. So this guy is running on a Citizen automatic movement, which you can hand wind. Let's see if you can hear it. It's actually a pretty cool watch. This is my first time holding a Q&Q watch in my hand. Seeing their images, their vintage lines were honestly, for me, their best feature, but their recent ones are pretty decent. So let's get to the measurements for this little fella. The crown is not signed. There's no insignia of anything. So the case, the lug to lug, I got it at 38. From the 9 to the 3 minus the crown, I got it at 32 with the crown is a 34. With look at that the nice acrylic crystal. Because since it's the big crystal, the thickness, I measured it at a 10.7, so roughly 11 millimeters thick. The lug width is a 16 millimeter. Don't know if this, yeah, I think this band is original. Because it has, let's see if I can get it focused. It says Japan. So I'm thinking this is the original band that goes with it. Let's see what we have. Because the case back will tell us it's a, what is it? Base metal, stainless steel back. And it has a serial number. But that's not the model number. You can't even see it on here. It's a 4-120221. So it's a pull push. It's a 40. No. Where do we go? This is a 40-hour power reserve movement. It doesn't hack. But if you move the time backwards, you can see how the second hands hesitate. And power it up for a reason. And so there's no loom on here. The hour minute hand looks like there's loom. This is what it looked like on my 7 3/4 inch wrist. You gotta admit, it's funny because the vintage watches back then weren't made for what the future was in behold with watches. I like how the how they put the stick on the hour markers and the Roman numerals to separate the 3, 6, 9, and 12. That would be cool if they remade these watches. Keep the vintage inspiration, make them a little bit bigger. But if you have a below 7-inch wrist, maybe well, this would be ideally for like a lady as well. This is like on the cusp where it could, well, it could be unisex to be precise. A man and female could rock this. It would be cool if they would have had a lume on the hands and on the second, but like I said earlier, no. It's crazy to have something that's 50 some odd years old, 52 years old, and it still look like it's pretty much been in decent condition. It's just, of course, you know, stainless steel, like how it's not all polished. But maybe because of it probably was back in the time when it first came out, but since the year, you can see some of the little scratches on there. Like the bezel, how they put that up. Pretty much it looks like one solid piece, but not 100% sure. No, there's like a space. So it's a 2-piece. The bezel, nice little bezel. Or actually flat polished bezel. Let me know if you guys heard of the Q&Q and what's your take on them. And do you think they should bring back the vintage inspired, or should they just continue doing what they're doing, having Citizen just distribute whatever they can make, and since they have all the parts to do so? Let me know in the comments below. Until the next one, you guys are awesome. You guys have a good one. See you.